Everyone tells you to just learn Python if you want to get into AI, which is true. But which Python though? The one that builds Django apps? The one that scrapes real estate listings? Because those Python and the Python that gets you hired as an AI engineer share a syntax and pretty much nothing else. So let's give the generic advice and talk about what matters. So open up Notepad, or if you're an old fart like me, get your notebook, because we'll tackle lots of tools and concepts in this one. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Most Python devs think in loops and classes and control flow. Good AI engineers don't care about that. Think in vectors, arrays, and data frames, and there's a good reason behind it. If you're still writing a for loop to process 1 million rows of data, then congratulations. You're not wrong, you're just slow. For something like that, we have NumPy, which pushes that same operation down into compiled C. So the speed gains aren't subtle. We're talking orders of magnitude on anything with real volume. Everything else in this video builds on that vectorized mindset. So yeah, get comfortable with it. Now let's talk about the stuff you touch before you ever train a model. A huge chunk of actual AI work, somewhere around 70 to 80%, depending who you ask, is just cleaning and prepping data and cleaning spreadsheets, basically. So step 1 is NumPy for arrays and the underlying math. Step 2 is Pandas for wrangling data that's messy in the way real data always is. Once your datasets get big enough that Pandas starts choking, that's your cue to look at polars. Same general idea, but built in Rust and very fast at scale. Oh, and don't skip matplotlib or seaborn either, because you need to see your data before you hand it to a model and trust the output. Next up, classical machine learning. And I know what you're thinking. You want to build chatbots, not predict house prices. Can you skip this part? Technically, yes. Should you? No. Scikit-learn is where you learn what overfitting looks like, what a train test split is doing, why an accuracy number can straight up lie to your face. Skip this step, and later when your RAG pipeline looks amazing in testing and falls apart in production, you won't have the first clue why. Scikit-learn is cheap insurance, and it costs you maybe 2 weekends of your life tops. Deep learning is next, and here you basically have 2 choices: PyTorch or TensorFlow. I'll save you the back and forth. PyTorch has pulled ahead as the default for research and most AI engineering roles at this point, partly because the code reads like normal Python, not Minecraft rooms, and partly because when something breaks, you can step through it instead of staring at a static graph wondering what happened. TensorFlow still has its place in bigger production environments, where teams need mature deployment tooling though. But if you're starting from zero, start with PyTorch. Trust me, bro. Okay, here's the part most Python for AI videos miss. Orchestration. A huge amount of what counts as AI engineering right now isn't training models at all, it's directing them. Hugging Face gets you access to basically every open model worth touching. LangGraph handles the multi-step stateful stuff, the kind of workflow where your agent needs to remember what it did 6 or 7 steps ago. Pydantic and instructors stop you from doing the rookie move of regex parsing a raw string out of an LLM response. Instead, you define a type structure, and the model's output has to match it, which saves you an embarrassing amount of debugging later. Light LLM means you're not welded to one company's SDK the moment pricing or performance shifts. And if you're doing anything with retrieval, you'll end up touching a vector database like Chroma or Pinecone sooner or later. This layer is new territory, even for people who learned quote-unquote AI Python a couple years ago. Oh, and quick myth to bust before we wrap up. You do not need to hand-derive backpropagation on a whiteboard to get hired, no matter what half of LinkedIn wants you to believe. What you actually need is intuition, what a vector represents, what a loss function is measuring, why gradient descent nudges a model in a direction instead of just solving it instantly. That's the real floor. Everything past that you pick up on the job, or you don't, which is fine, because it means you didn't need it to begin with. I've met plenty of working AI engineers who couldn't reconstruct the backprop math from memory if you paid them, and it's never once been the thing holding them back. Oh, and if you want a great place to teach you everything you need to know about AI engineering, then look no further than Scrimba, the sponsor of today's video. They've magically combined the IBE and video into one for truly interactive coding lessons where you can pause the teacher anytime and directly edit their code right inside your browser. No setup, no version mismatch hell, no nothing. Just you breaking things and building real-world projects until they click. Whether you want to be a back-end wizard, a full-stack Chad, or an AI engineer, they've got entire career paths to take you from zero to hireable. Use my link below to save an extra 20% off any pro plan. Happy coding!